So for tonight's homework, we will be creating a foldable. And foldables are really cool. They're ways that we can just kind of organize our thoughts onto a sheet of paper. I've gone ahead and filled this out almost entirely. I'll go ahead and go over the examples with you. But what I'd like you to do first is go ahead and in your math journal, I want you to title the foldable FDP, and that stands for fractions, decimals, and percents. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to breeze through this really quick, and I'm going to show you how to create your own foldable, either with a piece of construction paper, or you could just use a regular piece of lined paper as well. So you take a sheet of paper like this. Imagine it's blank, right? And the first thing you want to do is go ahead and fold it in half. Fold it in half, exactly like that. The next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and take the sides like this and go ahead and fold them like that. So if you open it up, it kind of looks like so. So once down the middle, and then once each side, and then we're not done yet. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and fold it into thirds from here. You could fold it like this. Go ahead and take this other half. Go ahead and put a nice crease there. Go ahead and fold it one more time. Okay, then what we're going to go ahead and label this foldable is we're going to label it with the different conversions that we'll be making tonight. So for instance, I just went ahead and put a shortcut. P stands for percent. That little arrow is 2 fractions. So you're going to label the upper left one percent to fractions. Okay, right to the right of that, percent to decimals. Over here we have fractions to decimals, decimals to fractions, fractions to percents, and decimals to percents. I went ahead and I've gone ahead and filled this in as far as the rules go. We'll go ahead and I'll do the examples. We'll do the examples together. The cool thing is that you guys get to go ahead and rewind this if you can't read my writing, because it was hard to write some of these small words. Fill this entirely up with this Sharpie. So I'll go over them. Just go ahead and write them as you hear me say them. So right underneath the percent to fractions, you're going to go ahead and write number 1. The first thing that you want to do is you want to rewrite the percent over 100. The second thing you want to do is simplify. So let me just go ahead and show you what that looks like. So if we've got 42% we want to rewrite that as 42 over 100, or 42 hundredths. We're halfway there, and then we're going to go ahead and simplify it. So I'm looking for a common factor for 42 and 100. I know that that's 21. I'm sorry, 2. 2 goes into 42. They're both even numbers. 2 goes into 42 21 times. 2 goes into 100 50 times. So all of these are equivalent. 42%, 42 hundredths, or 21 over 50. 21 fiftieths is a simplified version. So that's an example of how to change a percent to a fraction. To change a fraction to a decimal, we're going to divide the numerator by the denominator. Sounds pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and we're going to go with 1/8 for this example. 1 divided by 8. So remember, 1 goes in the house. We're going to divide that by 8. Well, we know 8 doesn't go into 1, So we're going to go ahead and have to add a decimal and a 0, bring the decimal up. 8 does go into 10. It goes in one time. 1 times 8 is going to give you 8. We'll go ahead and subtract that. 10 minus 8 is 2. 8 doesn't go into 2. We'll go ahead and bring down a 0. 8 goes into 20. It goes twice. 2 times 8, that's going to give us 16. We'll go ahead and subtract that. 20 minus 16 gives us 40. Go ahead and drop another 0 down. Oh, 8 does go into 40, and it goes in evenly. It goes in 5 times. So your answer for 1/8 is going to be 125. And then we're in the tenths, hundredths, thousandths. 125 thousandths. And when we're talking about decimals, we always like to put a 0 there in front, kind of as a placeholder for the ones place. So that's how you divide the numerator by the denominator, and that's how you convert a fraction to a decimal. Pretty simple. Okay, so now we're going to look at converting a fraction to a percent. Now, to convert a fraction to a percent, we want to convert the fraction to a decimal first. Then we want to move the decimal 2 places to the right and add the percent sign in. So we're going to look at converting a fraction to a decimal. Let's go ahead and we're going to work with 7/20. So that's going to be 7 divided by 20. Again, 20 doesn't go into 7, so we'll go ahead and put a decimal and a 0. 20 does go into 70. It goes in 3 times. 3 times 20 actually gives us 60. We're going to go ahead and subtract that. 70 minus 60 gives us 10. 20 does not go into 10, so we can go ahead and drop a 0 down. 20 does go into 100, and it goes in evenly 5 times. Okay, so we're almost there. So now we've converted a fraction to a decimal, but this one we were converting a fraction to a percent. So we need to convert to a decimal first, and then we want to go ahead and move the decimal 2 places to the right. Is actually the same as multiplying by 100. Gives us the whole number 35, and then it says we want to add the percent sign back. So we went from 35 hundredths, and now we're going to write that as 35%. Okay, so now we've done percent to fraction, fraction to decimal, fraction to percent. Let's go ahead and look at the other side. We're going to look at percents to decimals. Okay, what do our rules tell us? Our rules tell us that we want to remove the percent sign. We want to move the decimal 2 places to the left this time. And that's it. So let's go ahead and knock this one out. We'll start with 75%. Okay, and it says we want to remove the percent sign, and we want to move a decimal 2 places to the left. Okay, there's always an imaginary decimal at the end because it's a whole number. So 75% is going to be the same as 75 hundredths. So that was percent to decimal. Okay, so now decimal to fraction. This one's a little trickier. We want to write the decimal over 100 if it has an integer in the hundredths place, or 10 if the integer is only in the tenths place. And then again, we want to simplify. So let's go ahead and use the same number here. Okay, 75 hundredths. That's going to be equal to, right? If you say it, sometimes it helps you write it. 75 hundredths, the 5 is in a hundred spot. You can write it as 75 hundredths. So 75 hundredths equals 75 hundredths equals We're just looking for a common factor. We want to simplify. I can see that it's 25. 25 goes into 75 3 times, and 25 actually goes into 100 4 times. So all 3 of these are equivalent: 75 hundredths, 75 hundredths, or 3/4. They all mean the same thing. Decimal to percent. All right, so our rules tell us we want to move the decimal 2 places to the right, and then we just want to actually add the percent sign. So if we've got, let's go ahead and use this one again. 75 hundredths. We want to take that decimal, boom, boom, move it 2 places to the right, add the percent sign. So when we move it 2 places to the right, we're actually multiplying by 100. That makes it a whole number, 75 per cent, or per 100. So there you go. Hopefully that wasn't too painful. Go ahead and bring this to class with you tomorrow. You can either copy it right from here, or if you're having trouble writing, I know it's not all that clear, just go ahead and re-listen to the tape. And then go ahead and you can actually attach this on the back side right into your journal. Go ahead and use some glue stick. Go ahead and pop it in there, right in the section for fractions, decimals, and percents. Have a good night. Bye.